I want to be able to do a fucking full episode, man. I want to be able to do one with the fucking all four of us. But
Yeah, Fred's been hooking and jabbing,
yeah,
man.
man, he's been fucking just working just all the time, and he's getting sleep, which is good because I was actually worried about that for a while, man, because he didn't seem like he was sleeping at all, you know.
He's a big boy.
Damn.
He's a
But
big
what
boy.
the hell was I gonna say on top of that? Damn it. Anyway, oh yeah, Alex, my buddy, who does the other thing, um, he really, really, really wants to do an episode with us. He really, really, really
Yeah.
wants to, you know. And I mean, I really, and Kevin wants to do one as well, you know. And I think that,
Talking about Dickinson?
yeah, Kevin, yeah, and I really,
Really?
yeah, and that's the thing, man. I really think that once we get a few outside people who come on to do the show under our belt, I think that more people would be way more willing to do it. And again, I just think the circulation benefits from that are ridiculous. You know what I mean? So um, I'm actually
I mean,
pretty.
because I can think of like, I think of like people that I know would want to do the show.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Is once we start doing that, because no, good thing. I really, really, truly believe that that's going to be one of the really like separating factors about us is that we can have whomever we want come on, and just talk about life shit. And that's the thing, though, man. Like, if we're going to be asking people to come on the show, um, I really think that we should first and foremost be like, hey, we're going to fucking put this out on social media. We hope that you do too. We don't give a fuck if you do or don't, but we highly encourage it. And we're going to talk about real shit. And this is the stuff we'd like to talk about. And give them a heads up all the way fucking beforehand, not tell them what we're going to ask, but just what we'd like to talk about. And we like to talk about real shit in a very civil way. You know what I mean? And like, look, you can say whatever the fuck you want to say. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do, but just know that nobody here on here is going to put up with bullshit. You know what I mean? And uh, and on top of that, we're all fucking open minded and we all fucking respect each other's fucking point of views, but we don't put up with dumb shit. You know what I mean? And I just really, really think that people would. I mean, and already because that's the very few conversations I had like with Alex, and then same thing with Kevin because I didn't have to explain shit to Kevin. He fucking knows. But just tell people like, look, you want
He
to come
knew
on
what
here? We're
it
gonna
is,
talk about
yeah.
serious shit. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna talk serious stuff. And if you're uncomfortable with that, that's okay. Or if you just want to talk about yourself, or if you just want bullshit about, we're down for whatever. But just know that we like serious shit here. We like real opinions and serious fucking talk. So I told him about that. That was such a good idea.
Dialogue, man. That's
Yeah.
what all this shit is about, man. I'm dialogue. I'm all about being able to fucking build and share opinions and fucking all that other good shit, man. Because it's being able to sit down and share your opinions with certain people is kind of it's really the only way to relate with shit. And then eventually through time, like those opinions will fucking kind of bleed into the way you think. Just gotta hope that their opinions aren't fucking. I don't know. I mention morals and ethics all the time. Like, just gotta hope their opinions ain't unethical. And this shit is, this whole thing, this whole show is gonna be fucking golden.
Hmm.
I personally feel that episode one that we did, I feel like it wasn't like now that I go back, I've listened to it like twice already.
Hmm.
Now that I go back and listen to it, I feel like it wasn't a good. It wasn't a. It explained certain things, but it didn't explain like I said, that episode that I was talking about doing with fucking, doing the flow chart of not the flow chart, but the map of
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
where we are. You know what I mean? Like that. I mean, I try to do it, but I don't know how to fucking use PowerPoint. But I think that would be dope. You know what I mean? That would be fucking really really dope to do. That'll give like the super strong like understanding of who we are, what we do. You know
You
what I
know what would
mean?
help out too? Being able to
Why
see you.
we exist.
Hey,
Is that better?
there he is. There he is.
Okay.
Hello, governor.
Mike.
All right. What were you just fucking saying? About people being on here. Oh, the last podcast. Yeah, yeah. Explain your flowchart stuff.
Yeah, I think that'll be like super dope. Super dope. Like before, I kind of wrote down like, okay, things that I need to ask, but I think we should come up with like dialogue, like not a year by year dialogue, but at least like born here, moved here, joined the Marine Corps here, was stationed here, and then like what happened and what led you to get here. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
kind of write that down yourselves and go into your own explanation of it. Because I was trying to like write up 10 questions that each of us could answer that would allow me to establish this fucking flow chart. But I think the way we all explain our own lives would probably be a little bit more beneficial, and then people could kind of piece that own imagination in their head as opposed to us projecting that image, like the shit that happened to us in their own mind. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like for me, like my story would be like, yo, I was born in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. My mom was an army brat, but my grandmother was, she was in the army. Mom and dad met in St. Louis. Had me out of wedlock at a young age. My dad, at the age of 3, I moved to New York City. My dad got arrested for distribution of crack cocaine on a military base. You know what I mean? I could go that way. You kind of, okay, well, this guy's from here. This guy, okay, oh, wait, this guy's from New York. He lived in New York sometime. He moved back to Vegas with his dad. Shit didn't work out with his dad. He moved to Florida. Then he joined the Marine Corps. And then this is where I met these four. You know what I mean? And at least once we get to I met these four people at this given time, then we can go into like how we got to this point. You know what I mean? And then let the audience kind of make their own judgment call, as opposed to them saying like I'm like showing a map, like I moved here and then I moved there and then this happened to me, like, you know what I mean, giving them their own audio imagination of what the fuck's going on.
yeah, no, I get it. I see the great thing about this, man, is this is all people can go back and watch. You know what I mean? So
Right.
kind of like what you're talking about, like just listening to your explanation just now, what I pictured was every episode and every time we do something, I think that the more and more we talk about exactly what you just laid all those questions, when were what happened to me, yada yada yada, and we divulge more and more of that as each episode goes
Yeah, people
by,
will piece it
and make
together.
sure to
Yeah.
put that in the title or make sure to put that in the header. Like you know Ty and Dan talk fucking whatever the fuck. Ty talks about early childhood or growing up. Ty
Yeah,
talks growing up or whatever the fucking case, and you establish that you get people to know you. You get your followers. You get to people fucking watching you. They get to know you over time.
yeah.
And that's kind of the whole point. that's not, that's one of the main points. So no, that's how I felt just listening to that. Anyway.
Yo, this shit's gonna be huge, bro. Like, I can't. I have no doubt in my mind that this is gonna be fucking. This is gonna be amazing. I
I
have
don't
no
know,
doubt in my
man.
mind that it's going to be beneficial to people. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah,
it's gonna
I believe that.
that people are going to be able to sit back and I still think, like, remember that speaking things into existence shit that I'm always fucking referencing. Like,
Yeah.
just the sheer fact that the Joe Rogan experience decided to follow you is like it's like, is this the start to like, I don't want to
That's
say,
God.
like, you know what I mean? Like, is this the start to some, like, that moment right there could be something big. And I'm not one to like I'm not getting ready to count my eggs. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna do that. But at the same time, it's just like
It's
I feel like
cool.
you cool because like based off of what you're telling me and based off of what I see from your Instagram page, bro, you didn't fucking do anything. You didn't do anything. So how is this organization fucking like? Hmm, how did I fall upon this guy? And you know what I mean? It makes me
It's
think that
got to be
somebody
Twitter,
else
right?
spotted something. It's supposed to happen, bro. This shit's supposed to happen. There's no doubt
Yeah,
about it.
man. That's what's weird is I keep on telling myself that, we're doing this for a specific reason to gain a following and everything like that. But in the back of my mind, I just have absolutely zero expectations of that ever happening because I'm completely content with just being engaged in, your life and everyone else's. You know what I mean? That's why I'm doing this. And I completely just really, I think well, now consciously, but I think that I don't ever really think that gaining a following and a huge and all that shit's going to happen, But I keep thinking, how the fuck am I going to feel if and when it does? You know what I mean? Like, what's that gonna fucking feel like? And I've
Well,
always looked like,
I'll tell you what, man. Like you that expectation all you want, right? You can fucking let me speak it into existence. Let me do that part of it. Like because like I said, man, I truly believe like there's no doubt in my mind that this is gonna be fucking huge. Like there's literally I and it's not even like, oh, I'm doing this shit because it's gonna be huge. Like
no,
the
yeah, yeah,
way all this stuff came about, it was just like just the idea of being able to converse with each other was amazing. And then it's like, yeah, if we keep this up, this can be fucking amazing. You know what I mean? And I know it can be. I know it will be. And I refuse to let anybody, even you at this point, I refuse to let anybody tell me that use the if word. You know what I mean? Use the probably word. Use the, I refuse to because it just I don't see it there. Like when you use the word, you leave it open to interpretation of it may or may not. You know what I mean? And I don't see a may not. Like I can't imagine a may not. I cannot imagine a situation right now, based off of all the conversations we've had and you know what I mean, all the people that we've spoken to, and even on the Marco Polos, like based off of how big we made that shit in a matter of a couple fucking weeks. Like I cannot see this thing getting any smaller. I can't see this whole concept. I can't see it getting smaller. I can't see it dwindling down. I can't see it stopping. Like I only can see the growth that's behind this shit, and I stick to it and I believe it. Like I've spoken into existence already. Like yo, this shit's gonna be big. I don't know how it's gonna be big, but we're
I
gonna
believe
get.
you.
And this is why it's weird for me. Like for you, when you sent that text message and you showed me the picture, I was just like, okay, so is that Joe Rogan himself or is that the show? Like that's why I asked. Like that's why I asked
I
if that
bet you it's
was
Jamie.
your page or if that was your page or is that the Beans Bullets and Bullshit page? And then I looked up, you say, oh, that's your page. And I'm like, dude, I spoke this shit into existence. Like, dude, the guy at the fucking at the dinner, the diner we were at, he was like, yo, you're an amazing speaker. And he said that. Do you remember that? When we were at the diner, he was like, your voice is really compelling or some shit like that, he said. And I was like, yeah, dude. Like I was saying to myself, yeah, dude, like this shit's gonna be big. Like this shit's gonna be big, you know. So I think
Well,
this whole thing is fucking well
here's
worth it.
here, and here's the thing, man. It's not that I don't believe that. Like, I have zero doubt in my mind that we together are going to do and accomplish the things that we want. But just that aspect, like that gaining a following and people actually just listening to what you have to say because they find you interesting or compelling or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Not the fact that I completely believe and know that we're going to fucking accomplish it, that I'm going to achieve my goals because I'm never going to stop. We are never going to stop, you know? But just the recognition of like people are going to just listen to you, and think you're a big deal, and I just don't know how. I don't know. It's gonna be weird when that finally gets here. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, I mean, do we have to go back? Do we have to go back to the fucking superhero analogy again? I mean,
no,
if you need
man,
me to
it's
pull
just
it back out of
weird.
my ass, like I'll fucking do it, man. Because like that sounds like the rabbit hole you about to fucking go down. Like I don't know how to feel. Like I get it, you may not know how to feel, but like telling you that you've had that feeling before, like you've had that leadership
Yeah,
before,
man.
you had
I
that
know.
feeling where people have admired you before. So don't get me
Yeah.
started on that shit because I'll fucking go on forever. You know I will.
It's just weird, man. It's just fucking weird. It really is, man. Especially when you're fucking been a piece of shit like me. You know what I mean? Like it's very strange when you're actually trying to fucking better people's life and your own life when you've been a piece of shit like I've been a piece of shit. And then you actually realize that holy fuck, not only have you actually bettered your life, but you're helping others to do the same. And when that's like a true statement, it's humbling, man. That's what it
And you
really
know
is.
what?
It's
I
humbling.
think I
It's
think
humbling
what's
as fuck.
what's beautiful about what you just said, man, is really the fact that you've been using past tense. Like you're saying you've been a piece of shit, or I have. You're speaking in it in present tense. If you were to say, like I'm telling you, if you the fact that I am a piece of shit, I'd fucking cuss you out right now. But you're literally speaking it. You're speaking it out of existence. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you've accomplished that. You know what I mean? I get it. It's not an accomplishment, but like
Bailey!
you've gotten past the stage of being an asshole.
Yeah.
What's up, Brandon? Everybody say what's up to Brandon. I'm hard,
What
Brandon.
up, Brandon?
What up, man? Just sitting here eating on some damn blueberries and shit, chilling in the sun. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel you. Are
You
you
are
out there
so
fucking trying
stupid.
to stick your dick in tree holes or what?
You're so stupid, dude.
I did that. I did that earlier. Right now, I'm just out here trying to get my tan on and shit, man. I'm just trying to keep that
I
year-round
hear
tan going. You know how it
you
goes
can't get
against
a
you.
you can't get a tan with a shirt on, dude. I don't know where they do that at. It must be in North
I mean,
Carolina.
if you want, Gibson, if you want me to take your shirt off, my shirt off, baby, you know what I'm saying? Make it happen.
That's what it
Nah,
sounded like.
man.
It really
Nah,
sounded like you
I know
wanted
you.
nah.
Brandon to take his shirt
Try
off.
to I'll try to do this for the lady viewers. I'll close my
It's
eyes when it happens.
sure,
we,
I don't
sure.
want
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
I don't want to see that taco meat.
yeah. Bailey!
with
I
extra
can't
sauce. You forgot. You
believe.
forgot it's got extra sauce on it though.
Extra sauce on the taco meat.
Oh yeah, you know how I go. Saucy.
Doc, when you gonna get fucking Lita to do an episode with us, man? When you gonna get her to fucking come on and we can talk like fucking, cool female shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
See,
want to talk about Glee and fucking switch that birth and all those other girl things and
Oh
tampon and
God.
maxi pad sizes, all that shit, man. Let's get into it.
you are man.
Ah,
She's gonna be down to do it. She's actually we just have to plan a time like in evening time sometime or on the weekend. She's off Saturday, Sunday, but I talked to her about it already. She's totally down for it. She's
yeah.
depends on because according to her, depends on the conversation what we're kind of talking about. But most things we talk about, she's already into, man. To be honest.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, man. If she like if she would be willing to go on, dude, really, like I would love to probe her about especially cultural questions, and societal questions right now. A lot of the
Yeah,
feminist shit
man.
going on, a lot of the Me Too shit, all that stuff, man. I want to
Wait,
get
wait,
good
wait.
fucking.
Can you establish? Because I don't know what this. I keep hearing about Me Too stuff. What is the Me Too the rape thing?
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
hashtag that was in the wake of all the Harvey Weinstein stuff and all the fucking sexual assault allegations and sexual harassment allegations, and the Me Too movement, sprung up out of that about Me Too. Oh, it happened to me too, and now it's the big worry is it actually doing any good now, or is it a fucking just really really a dog whistle for fucking people just to smear others that they don't like. Look at Bailey, and I think it's both. It's both. It's been helpful and legitimate in certain instances, and it's been abused and taken advantage of in others. But but it's always good, like I said, to see what that actually means to people, you know. And Lee's always got a really great perspective and a really great opinion about it, you know. So I can't wait to
Yeah.
actually get her on, man. Really
Yeah,
can.
yeah, she's got like a straightforward opinion on stuff. Like I said, basically everything we talk to us. Why it's so funny too, Gibson. I want to even put you on, but you know when it's you and it's you know how we have like the group Marco Polo.
Yeah.
Because she was watching a couple of the ones that we had up and stuff, man, and it was just funny. You two are funny, man. I don't want to comment on exactly what. Well, you can edit this part out, anyways. But it's fucking. It's you, Gibson. You was like, yeah, man. I had a good time at the Broadway show. Besides, my dick wouldn't stop getting hard when I was singing the dances. And then Lee just happened to see that. She's like, wait. She's like, Gibson, oh my goodness, he's so disgusted. Isn't he married? I was like, yeah, he's married. And right after, look, and right after that, like as soon as I clicked on another one, it happened to be Fred with his little finger demonstration and shit. And she was like, oh my goodness. But I was like, wow, the whole time. I'll be watching it in the living room and she's having there. I mean, she never like says like anything extreme. Like I'm just dying laughing the whole time. And same with Dre, man. He sent me a couple personal ones where he's like, Dre sent me a couple personal ones. Where he's like, man, I don't know, man. Now you got this Marco Polo, man. You know, when you're trying to get with them hoes on the down low and shit, you know, you got to watch out for Lee. And Lee's like right beside me and shit. I'm like, this motherfucker.
Because we do that. I didn't do that.
Yeah, man. It's all in fun though. So it's you know, it's no big deal. But she's always into conversations that we have, man, for real, for real. She's like part of
Good.
the same things we're saying. So
Good.
she's not gonna take
I don't want-
offense.
I
She's
don't
not gonna take
believe-
offense or like think that you're like a bad person or nothing like that. You know?
Yeah, I was gonna say because I don't want anybody, and this is even to all the viewers. I don't want anybody to like listen to the shit that I'm saying and think like, oh yeah, fucking Tyrone's an asshole to women, and like, no, dude, like I'm just the guy.
If they
that
didn't
says,
know you, they would think that.
Yeah.
well, they will think that, but I mean, really, I don't want them to think that, but I don't care if they think that because I know I'm not. You know what I mean? Like I think I'm a pretty respectful dude. I got nothing but women in my family, and I have a wife that will fucking kill me if I was to ever do. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
so-
but you
so
say
I'm
some
just-
pretty
I'm
fucking
just
some disrespectful shit that people can fucking definitely take out of context.
my wife knows that I'm not being disrespectful,
And we know that.
and she also knows that I'm a very respectful guy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But-
And she also knows that I'm a guy that says the in his brain. So it's
What up,
not
bitch?
a matter of what's up, Bubba? You okay?
Uh-oh. Did he
What's
break
up?
up? Uh-oh. Yeah. Ty's all gone.
Oh yeah, from the surgery.
Shut up, Bailey. Shut up, Bailey.
That's
Quiet, Bailey.
But no, I got something that I want to kind of briefly discuss. Was that what you brought up? I think you called it, Gibson, the echo system, right? Was that what you called
Echo
it?
chamber.
Echo chamber. What do you guys think about that? In a sense of definitely, are y'all big on like everybody that you surround yourself with? Everybody, Bailey, damn it, Bailey.
This is why I love this shit, dog. Uh-oh. Pipe down, Bailey. Pipe down, AJ.
But as I was saying,
Bailey just do something crazy? Did I do something?
no, man,
No,
Bailey's
man.
just sitting here barking. But anyway, I think she's all done. But no, are y'all big on that? Keeping, I guess, surrounding yourself with, you know, people that's like-minded, I guess you would say, to like keep everything, you know, I mean, to build you up. That's what you meant by the echo chamber, right? It's like keeping people around you that's gonna help lift you up, and you know, you're gonna be more successful if you surround yourself around people like that. Versus
Yeah,
what
man,
about?
the top-
Well,
top five
versus
people
not.
that-
My bad. Versus not having not having anybody to hang out with. What do you think about that? And then just using your own inspiration, or would you prefer?
And I think I can speak on one aspect, which is like the top 5 people that you spend your time with. You know what I mean? You kind of draw off of, and you do a lot of things that they do,
Your
and you
inner
kind of
circle.
say a lot of things that they say. But at that same time, like for me, because I'm such a sociable guy, like when I didn't have anybody to talk to, when I didn't have anybody to say things to, is when I kind of went down in that depression state. Whereas on
Right.
the opposite end, what's up, buddy? You want to take your glove off? Okay.
Bailey.
Whereas when you look at me on the opposite end, when I didn't have anybody to socialize with, when I wasn't socializing with anyone, is when I was kind of like went into my depression state. But you can take that absolutely on the opposite end with DJ, who's a motherfucker that was, I guess, for lack of a better term, was a jerk when he was talking to a lot of people, when he was, dwelling with people. But then he kind of went off to the wayside and made himself better silence, out of the resilience of not speaking to anyone and kind of developing his character. So I think it goes both ways, and it really just kind of matters on the person you kind of breed yourself to be.
No, I agree with that, but I think DJ separating himself made him more of a jerk now. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks. I love you too, you motherfucker.
No, but I feel what you're saying, man. I definitely think it depends on the individual. I mean, I guess, me now, I have a couple, I mean, besides you guys, which I can really talk to about mostly anything that I'm kind of going through in my life and shit like that. But, I have a couple guys here that I go out with every now and then, or they come over, which I feel like they're kind of on the same wavelength, but we have really good conversations and really good connections. It's kind of hard for me to really hang out with anybody in general that's, doing all the dumb shit that I was doing in the past, man. I mean, I can't, I mean, to me, I have no interest in it at all, man, to do that. But I also agree that, you can be not having a social life at all and develop a lot of things, like you mentioned, DJ, with, you being home and a stay-at-home dad. Obviously, you're being a great dad and you're giving influence to your kids, but you have more, you have time to actually work on yourself by reading and learning the technical things that you may not have been so savvy on, and just kind of really developing yourself. So, in that sense, I can kind of see it going a little bit higher, I guess, than surrounding yourself around people. I'm guessing if you do have to surround yourself around people, make sure that, I guess, that they're trying to go in a positive or I guess, wise direction. But if you're going to be not having a social life at all, which I think is also great, it made sense when you said that, man. Like, you have more time to work on yourself and shit,
What do you want? You
Yeah,
want some
no, and
yogurt?
and and when just because I was home by myself, not even by myself, my kids and Sarah, but just because I didn't go out much and still don't go out much, doesn't mean that I didn't surround myself, with my influences. I mean, I put up visuals of the life that I want to have, and I read and I watch fucking podcasts and I do all that shit. I surround all of my fucking, my daily life with the shit that I want to be like and the shit that I'm motivated by. You know what I mean?
Word.
So just because I was actually physically mostly always by myself doesn't mean I wasn't surrounding myself with the things I wanted to be like. And Ty actually hit it around the head, man. It's what the fuck we had to go through isn't going to be the same for everybody. Just like we talk about all the time. We all kind of ended up in the same spot in life, but we all went through different experiences and had to learn different lessons a different way. Just because what worked for me or what I went through isn't the same thing that what you went through or what worked for you. But what is common is that life experience of sorrow and adversity and suffering and pain, or fucking coming out of it. That perseverance and that determination and that conviction, like those human emotions and the human experience, is what we now share. But how we got there is all unique.
Right.
So what worked for me is going to work necessarily for anybody else. But, having said that, you still know what it's like to go through a lot of things because, like I said, they all result in the same human experience. you know.
Well,
Um,
yeah, I agree with you.
yeah.
I agree with. I feel like the one of the main points I took out of what you're just saying, that I guess is an angle I never thought about, is you are really putting yourself around those things, because if you're watching podcasts or if you're reading books of great people that you admire and shit like that, you're not personally in a situation where we're having a conversation and I'm hanging out with you daily or weekly, but you are putting yourself around likewise things that you inspire yourself to do and things that you want to do. That makes a lot of sense, man.
and what we're doing right now. You know what I mean? Like, just because you're not physically here with me doesn't mean that we're not spending a good part of our day together. You know what I mean?
Right.
Think like we spend a good part of our day speaking to one another. You know what I mean? Regardless if we're physically occupying the same space. You know, and that's something like you talked about earlier. You got a couple friends there that
Technology
you
is
can pal
amazing.
around with. Huh? What'd you say?
Technology is amazing.
Oh yeah, yeah, it is.
Technology
Yeah,
is amazing.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and that's exactly it, man. That's exactly the point. Is you know, I don't like I don't like being segregated physically. I don't like being by myself mostly. I don't like being in the home most of the day. I like to be out. I'm an outdoors kind of a person. I like to be around the people I care about. But as I just said, technology being amazing as it is, I can still fill my day with technology or books and podcasts and all that shit with those things that inspire me and that want to be. She was getting down for a sec. She was getting down. But but yeah, no, that's what I've had to do is I've had to surround myself with you all via fucking technology, surround myself with my motivations, with my books and podcasts and all that shit, you know. But
Well, so why do you think you just completely, I guess, separated yourself from people in general just because you had to work on yourself? I'm saying like when you kind of like
yeah,
disappear from social media and stuff. Is that the main reason? Is because you know what? I can't be influenced by anything that's gonna steer my life in a direction I don't want it to go.
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think it was exactly that, and I wish I could say that it was specifically one certain reason, but it wasn't. It was a whole shit ton of different reasons. But you know, to try to describe it as simply as I could, man, like I needed to completely cut off everybody. You know what I mean? Like I needed to really fucking look inward, man, you know, and focus all my attention in myself, in my home, to my children, and I just didn't want any outside distractions. You know, and I didn't do that intentionally. It just happened. You know, I mean, I just did it. You know, I didn't fucking have that mindset that I have to cut everybody off. That's just what happened. You know what I mean? Does that make
Right.
sense?
No, it makes total sense.
Yeah. So that's I just needed to go through it, man. You know, I needed to go through it. And then when I realized that the happiest that I've been and the most important things to me are the people that I care about. That human connection that we always talking about. That was the thing that was missing out of my life the most was having the people in my life who I really cared about and who cared about me and that connection between us, you know? And then that's what kind of led me to start doing what I was fucking doing and reconnecting with all you schmucks and
Right.
doing the whole thing, man.
And to you, that's true right there. That's true. I guess you would say joy and happiness. How would you measure success? Like, you know what I'm saying? How would you, do you see yourself as successful, or do you see yourself in the future being successful? Or how do you measure, or how do you guys, not just you, how do, well, and as you as well, Gibson, how do y'all feel like being successful, what it really means? Is it this what we're doing right now? Or do you feel like you're not at the point that you want to be in life, or that you know, are you, not that you're yearning for materialistic things, but are you yearning for like more of a different position that you're in now, or do you just want this to be, is this success for you? Like, because success can keep growing. I feel like in all aspects of whether you're successful at a job or you're successful at home, but I feel like as a whole, being successful is having that inside joy and love and the connection that you have with others. But a lot of people they don't base success as that. You know, if they look at a person living what they would call an average life, but that person has, you know, several people that he connect to, they were like, well, you know, it's good, you know, but I want to be successful and I want this and that. Only to find out when that started to near down and they made it to what's called successful, they realized, well, shit, you know, I really ain't even happy inside. So everything that I got that I thought was successful really doesn't matter too much at all. You know what I mean? Um, Stuff like that, man. Success to me is really that in a nutshell. And it's really right now it's just having people around me that I feel love me and I know that I love them. Um, the connections that I make daily, whether it's through verbal connections or body language or experiences of having like the life that we have right now, man. Just this right. I mean, and I know, man, I know it sounds so funny because I always talk about fucking nature, man. So
No, it's
Gibson,
good, dude.
Gibson, I'm about to do as you said and bust another nut on a fucking tree, literally. But I mean, look though, man, like seriously,
like this right here, and to you guys, for real, man, I understand that. And to you guys, or not just to you guys, but to most people, man, it's literally, I mean, it's just a sight of trees and the sky and stuff that, we grew up to and stuff that we've been seeing. But success to me is being able to go outside and embrace this and feeling inside that you have love from family, from friends, from people who really care about you, and experiencing fresh air and the things that, what I'm saying, that to me really fulfills, I feel like, my life at the time. Like, that doesn't mean that I don't want to, that I want to stop growing and stop doing things to, build my family or all the aspirations and dreams and stuff that I have for my life. But at the time, this feels that it's part, I guess you would say, of the path that I'm on. It takes this right here, appreciating some of the things that I did at first, to build on to the blocks that what we have going on now, man. I mean, what do you guys think? I know I kind of went off right there, man, and I'm talking about nature, but
we get it. You got trees in your backyard. Turn it back to you.
Word.
There we go. Well, no, man, I'm so happy that you love that nature that much, dude. I love it. I really fucking do. You go off your fucking rabbit hole like that all the time, man. People need more connection with nature like that, for real.
Yeah, and I guess what I'm saying is, like, just the feeling you get when you go outside on a nice day, or even certain days, man. When you wake up in the morning, sometimes, I mean, that's why people, like, a lot of times they open their blinds and shit, like they let the light come in and stuff. It literally puts them. And that's why they do it, for they can put them in certain kinds of mood. I'm saying, not everybody, but when I wake up in the morning, first thing Lee says sometimes, could you like open that blind halfway, or could you do this and that? But the reason they do it is because nature is speaking to you, and that sunshine's coming in. When we get on here, we're like, man, you know what? It's a fucking beautiful day today. That's what it does. It literally motivates you inside. And me just saying, yo, look at nature and appreciate it is the same thing when we feel those good days and we're out there laying by the beach, or opening the blinds in the morning and shit, man. That's why, yeah.
Meteorologist, blacksmith.
Yeah, man. I mean, in the flesh, man. In the flesh. This is my new bed, man. I don't even live inside no more. This hammock right here. It's like, I don't even live inside no more, man.
I am completely in your same fucking boat, dude. Like, if I could spend more time outdoors with my children and be fine with, I would totally would, man. And I can. It's just really difficult, especially with a young kid and multiple children. It's so. I mean, it's a lot of work to be able to fucking stay outside for a fucking prolonged period of time. But when they're able to take care of themselves and participate, they can dress themselves and go shit by themselves and then fucking go out. Man, we're gonna be spending so much time outside, but more people should. More people should fucking literally, like you said. I mean, it's literal science. Like, you get it's vitamin D from the motherfucking sun. You know what I mean? You're literally, but you can also get fucking skin cancer.
Getting that that vitamin D.
You're stupid, dude. You're so stupid.
I guess, man, to go back to, and I know I want to circle that, but to go back to, what do you guys measure success as? I mean, that was my original thing for it. But what do y'all measure success? Are y'all feeling successful right now in life?
I feel successful. I feel successful, but I don't feel accomplished. So, like, I have the things in my life that I need. I have, my family. I got my wife, my son, my niece. You know what I mean? My mother-in-law, my mother. My dad's back in my life now. My little sister's back in my life now. You know what I mean? Like, I got my family's, really close by. If I wanted to go see them, I can. You know what I mean? Like, the relationships that I have with the people that I work with is pretty amazing. So, and then the relationships of me being a recruiter and me affecting, young guys' lives, like, I feel like I'm being successful in my work, being successful in my actions. However, I do not feel accomplished. What I want for my life is this to be big, and music, right? To have notoriety in two things. And once I accomplish those two things, I will be at what I would deem as the pinnacle of success before I decide to start a new goal. You know what I mean? However long it takes me to accomplish those things is, however long it's going to take. And I haven't thought of any new goals, any new ultimate goals until I accomplish these two, which is, be a prominent, producer in the music industry. Like that's when I finish that, then I will be at what I would consider the ultimate form of success. But then at some point in time, while I'm on that path, I'm sure I will have new goals after that. So, I am successful right now. I am monetarily, I have enough money to sustain myself. I got friends, I got family. Like, I don't need much but to accomplish the things that I aspire to do. Point blank, period.
Word.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm trying so hard to stop saying like. um, I mean, success has got to
Unsuccessful
always be.
motherfucker. Stop saying like.
I know. But isn't success always got to be completely? I always forget the damn word, man. But subjective, isn't it always subjective? What's success to other people, man? Isn't it really? Because to me, success would mean I can't even really say, man, because I have so many things in life that I am so grateful for and that I love and that I appreciate. But at the same time, there's also a whole fucking things that I do want to accomplish and do and see, you know. So I am completely happy with my life and I love my life, but that doesn't mean I don't want to strive for more, you know what I mean? But I consider myself successful now, and I will consider myself even more successful, even if I don't attain the things I want to get. Like, if I just continue to be the person I am, raising my children first and foremost, being a father to my kids is the most important thing to me, and raising them to be tiny little good adults, you know what I mean? To be good people. That's first and foremost, but it's just, I don't know, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have a good barometer on success. I mean, I consider myself successful now as I, even when I fail, I'll consider myself successful because, if you fail risking something, like if you fail trying to gain something, that's just all the better. Failure is a lesson. You know what I mean? And it's a motivator and all that shit. So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
I wish
hear
I
that
could give you a
often,
more
man.
definitive answer.
No, I hear that often about failure through failures when you find like it's that real challenge, I guess, and failures that one of the
Adversity.
and it's obviously one of the hardest pills to swallow for majority of people, I would say, man. I feel like when you can get to that point where you're not afraid to fail, you will definitely be fulfilled in so many ways. But the reason I'm saying that is because even in my life now and stuff, it's very hard for me sometimes as a human being. It's like really believing in something that you can do fully. It's like people telling you, "Hey, you're great." For instance, since Gibson, you mentioned music. You're a great producer. You're a great musician, and they tell you this over and over and over. But in your mind, it's like you're trying to put out things, and first off, if you don't fully believe and trust into yourself, it's really not going to come out the way it's not going to come out naturally the way it should. But on top of that too, if you're scared to take those risks because you're scared of being ridiculed by other people and how they're going to look at it and all these things, is a thing that I feel like majority of people want to say. Most people deep down inside, I feel like, struggle with that. Some people have like yourself, DJ, I mean, which is good that you're not able. I mean, I don't know if it doesn't affect you at all, the thought of failing and stuff, because I feel like, I don't know if that like helps you in some senses if you try to present something, right? If you try to, I guess, perform on stage and stuff, and you're nervous and kind of inside, you're scared of how the audience is going to receive what you put out there. You know what I'm saying? Because you want people to like what you did. You want people to like what you said as a human, right? I mean, you don't go out there seeking like, hey, these motherfuckers ain't gonna like it and I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? It's really putting yourself out there is where, regardless of the crowd's reaction to it, whether they like it or not, is really victory on your part for actually putting yourself out there in front of people. It's definitely challenging, man. It's definitely one of the things that I feel like if you can get to the point where you're just not scared of failure, or not even that you're not scared of failure, that you just say fuck it and do it and realize I could fail. Because it ain't, I don't really think it's a point of being, if you're scared to fail, okay, that's an emotion. You feel it. I'm afraid right now that I may fail. But the whole point is actually just doing it anyways. You know what I'm saying? Even if you may fail, because I feel like naturally you're going to feel like emotion, like, you know what, I may fail. And this is not a good feeling that I'm experiencing right now, because I don't think it's human, like, to be, you just don't have no emotion at all. Like, I really just don't care. But I think the main thing is actually maybe feeling like whatever, but still just saying, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm definitely going to die. Everybody is going to die. Like, we know that. So I got that down. Check. That's a check in the box. So why not just put myself out there and live this life while I'm here, as they would say, to the fullest? You know what I'm saying? Easier said than done, because right now we again, another emotion, another human trait. We do most of the time care about the perception of others, whether we like to say it fully or not. And there's certain things that we don't care that people, I guess, perceive us as. But most of the time, definitely, if you really play on emotions, you give a fuck about the way things go, or the way you may have said things, or did you say it the way you wanted to and stuff. But again, like we're doing this right now, we're definitely far from any like professional speakers and public speakers and anything. But again, for me personally, me going on here and actually doing what I feel at the time that I wanted to do, which is basically relate to others to, stay inspired and kind of stay on the road that they're going if they truly feel it in their heart, in a nutshell. And I'm here to kind of encourage that and also be with the ones that's going through this and that. But at the same sense, you do have in your mind, like, hey, is this going to be received the way I wanted it to be put out, or are people going to receive it the way that my intent was? But I guess we just got to remind ourselves, first off, the reason we're doing it, what we feel inside, and this is for anything. I'm not talking about just this, but we got to remind ourselves, hey, I feel this. I really feel I'm going to do great at this, because I feel like this is what they say, my calling, I guess. But I feel it, and regardless of how people may receive this, I'm just going to do it anyways. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to still juggle all these emotions in your head, man. And like, you're like, fuck, man, because like they always say, your worst enemy and the loudest voice is usually the one right inside of you. That's the one that's. I think it was a Kendrick Lamar verse where he said, he was saying something. I always thought it was me versus the world till I found out it was me versus me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that is so true, because a lot of the times while we out here and we're trying to face and trying to get people's approval, when inside, us versus ourselves is the one that's telling us in the first place, damn, people may not have liked what I said or the way I performed. And then it's funny because like a week later or a couple of days later, somebody reminds you, bro, that was a awesome thing that you did. And you're kind of like, what? I didn't even know that. But it was just because you went out there and did it. And then obviously people are going to not agree with it all times. But getting back, man, it's true what you said, man. It really is. And I really feel like that,
That's
man.
getting way back.
Way back. I like and getting way back to the original point of failure and stuff, man. Like I said, it's a feeling that you get that you're gonna, as human beings, feel that, hey, I may fail, but the point is just actually doing it. And I feel like once you can practice that more and more, man, it's gonna be a blessing right there for sure. That's gonna be awaiting you at the end.
It's a hard lesson to learn, man. Like you said, that's a lot of life experience you got to go through. You know what I mean? And like for me personally, when I'm putting shit up on fucking line, and especially when I was doing it during the fucking trip, do all of a sudden you feel real insecure about what people are going to think? Yeah, I did. I would immediately I would feel insecure about, oh, what if this person says this, or what if this person thinks that, or what, I would feel that way. And then I would think, oh yeah, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I would wait to stop feeling that way and then go back to the realization, like, oh yeah, I really truly don't give a shit about the opinion of the vast majority of people. I care about my perception. I care about the way that I present myself. You know what I mean? How you perceive me, I don't give a shit. But I care about how I present myself to others. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I don't care about their opinion, but I care about my own self-respect and the way that I present myself to the public eye. You know what I mean?
So
If
what
that
if the
makes sense.
majority of, and I'm sorry for cutting you off. So what if the majority of people said they was like, "Yo, Smith, I'm glad what you're doing, but everything you're doing is shitty, man. Like you wouldn't give a fuck. You would, or you would feel. I'm saying you would feel inside as a human. You'd be like, damn, or would that be like just totally
No,
pass by
yeah,
you?
you feel that. Like I would, if I was still doing exactly what I'm doing now, and people, when I was on the trip, if people would have said, "Shut the fuck up," it would have felt horrible. I would have felt horrible. It would have sucked. But I truly believed in what I went by myself because I believed I had to do it. I believed it was supposed to happen, and I did it anyway because that's what I fucking believed. You know, regardless of what people would have said. You know what I mean?
I
and,
agree. Yeah.
and I was completely convicted on my beliefs. So fuck what everyone else says, man. I take great pride in speaking against the norm. You know what I mean? Being outside the fucking, like, truly being, not having the political, cultural, societal fucking opinions or perspectives that people want you to have. You know what I mean? And having said that, I don't want to fucking go against the grain just to go against the grain because I'm a fucking rebel and I don't like what other fucking I'm not that guy. You know what I mean? Um, but within reason, fucking standing up for your principles and your beliefs, as long as those principles and beliefs are fucking grounded in righteousness and integrity and honor and shit, then fucking do it, man. Don't conform just because that's what fucking people want you to do. Because you think that's what culture and society says you need to do is
I
you
agree.
need to have these opinions, you need to have this perspective. You look this way, you're a part of this group, then you need to think like this. You know what I mean? Fuck that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And truly, man, like you're gonna feel bad. Like when people criticize you, it hurts. When people tell you you're fucking stupid or you're or whatever, it hurts. But as soon as your body and your emotions stop feeling that way, because you can't control how you feel, you can't control that. But you can think, yeah, I don't give a shit about what these other fucking judgmental people give or say about me. Your opinion and your judgment has zero bearing on my life. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you have to go through some real life experience to really kind of grasp that. You know what I mean?
No, I totally understand where you're coming from. And that's just like to go back and say, like, a lot of the greatest creators and all these things, obviously they had the people beside them saying that shit is totally stupid and it's not going to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, just imagine back in the day, man. Like I always love historical reference, but literally being imagined a fucking Galileo saying the fucking world is round. You know what I mean? Imagine that. You know what I mean? Like or or seriously, like just imagine back. Look at the fucking people who had to go against the grain started wars. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
wars are started over. I don't know, and that's a really bad example to use. But the point being that if you're truly convicted in your beliefs, and that can go for fucking good and bad. People can be convicted in their righteous beliefs. People can be convicted in their fucking really nefarious beliefs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So either way, you know, I have respect for people who fucking have that conviction to carry out their principles and to stand on them. You know what I mean? Um,
You
and
got
and even if go ahead.
Now, I was gonna say, do y'all have any personal experiences where you failed really big, but later on realized that it actually was a good thing? Do y'all have anything that was like like a big failure? I know one time, DJ, you mentioned about in the Marine Corps the whole being a drill instructor and everything. I know that was one thing that's dear to your heart, and you know what I'm saying. But through that, I think you mentioned before too, if I'm not mistaken, through that, obviously, you end up getting out of the Marine Corps. You met, a fiance. Now you have a family and all these things, which could have went totally a different way if, that would have happened. So, I mean, I guess it's crazy how life works sometimes in ways that we think that at the time, like, oh, man, this sucks like the worst. And I really didn't want this for my life, but then realized, like, shit, it was really a blessing in disguise, as they would say.
Mhm.
It's crazy, man.
That's like when I try to, one of the ways that I subside my road rage, because I used to get fucking road rage super fucking bad. You know, whenever there's traffic or whenever someone cut me off, I would always just think, this is happening because this traffic is saving me from an accident that I would have gotten if I would have fucking passed this traffic. You know what I mean? Or this fucking asshole just fucking cut me off because he stopped me from being in the intersection and I would have gotten a wreck or whatever. You know what I mean? I always have to think of it like that to prevent myself from just fucking, trying to run motherfuckers off the road, because that shit used to get me.
I know that's challenging for you, Gibson, because you fucking live where traffic is. Like, I'll be always seeing on your videos where you be cussing out people and stuff.
I can firsthand attest. I've driven with Ty before, man. He can fucking kind of click off safe real quick. Just let me say that.
Oh, yeah?
Fucking click off safe real quick. Yeah. Yeah. I can firsthand attest to that. And he will be completely in the wrong. It will be completely his fault. He will have pulled out in front of somebody. And he'll be fucking motherfucking the other guy like it was his fault.
Gotta love it, Gibson.
Tell him to come downstairs, AJ. AJ gotta go pee now. You know what? That's bullshit. DJ, you know it wasn't my fucking fault. You know I don't
a little bit.
But you know I don't know. I look at the world like as self-centered as it sounds, like, yo, my world. You know what I mean? It's your world too, but it's mine first, because I had a first sergeant tell me, "Dad, put your pants down." I had a first sergeant tell me, he was like, "Listen, man." He goes, "At the end of the day, the only person in life that's gonna give a fuck about you is you, right?" So I have this attitude, like, all right, well, if that's the case, then the world is mine, right? Like. And then the people that I want to make happy in my life, I can do that. You know what I mean? Like, I can be a part of that. But at the end of the day, like, the only person that's going to control my own destiny is me. Like, nobody else is going to have control. Go ahead, you can go back upstairs. The only person that's going to have control of my own destiny. So it's like, Daddy's on the phone. Daddy's cleaning up down here. The only person that's going to have control of my own destiny is me. Oh, boy. You going to stay down here with me then? All right, you can stay down here with me. The only person that's going to have control of my destiny is me. So rather than allow people to make a determination as to how successful I am or what success is and if I'm a successful person or not, I say the world is mine. Like this is my shit. So when I'm driving and I go road rage on a motherfucker, it's not because. It's not because I'm an
fuck the other guy
or I'm a dirt. It's literally because, like, there's something that I feel that needs to be done right at that particular time in my life, and you're not making it happen because you fucking pulled in front of me, asshole. Like, you know what I mean? Like it sounds self-centered, but when
it is.
It is. And I don't mean, like, and again, I would never, like, put anybody or do anything intentionally to put somebody in a position where they're going to get hurt or anything like that. I just want to make it be clear that my intention is not to be that way, and I'm all about fucking like doing what I can to help people. But God damn it, when I'm driving, like, let me fucking do what I gotta do. Like, I'm currently traveling to go do something. You know what I mean? Like, let me do that, and let me do that the way I thought I wanted to do it.
And I forgot nobody else is going to do anything. I forgot.
Well, you could be going to
but the world is yours. You're right.
But at the same time, like, look, you could be going to do something, but
the world is yours.
Is that more important than me? Is that more important than what I got going on? Because we all sit down and we view each other. We view us with our own level of importance. Like, what I got going on is more important than what you got going on in my eyes.
Yeah, I don't look at it that way at all, man. Like,
so you're saying if you were riding down the road and you saw a lady in labor, you say, "Bitch, the world is mine."
No, I'm saying I would gladly interpret it. Because I'll gladly stop and help her, like I did that when we had blizzards out here. Not helping pregnant ladies, but there's a little old lady, like, she had a little Buick LeSabre stuck in the water. Stuck in the snow. And I pulled over and I helped her out. You know what I mean? Like, I got the snow from under her tire and I pushed her out.
because at that particular time, like I felt like that was important for me to do, right? So
No, I totally feel you on your mind. I feel on your mind state of thinking. Maybe that helps give you drive, like it helps you your drive through the day. Probably thinking like that. I'm guessing.
Right. So it's not like I'm
This
deliberately
self-centered asshole. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm far from it. Like I do think about other people. But when something is not going my way, the first thing for me to do is assess what the problem is. And usually when I assess what the problem is, the first thing is like, okay, somebody else is doing something that's not allowing me to do what it is that I need to do.
Have you always been like that, or did bad experiences from you being too vulnerable probably encourage that?
You know what? I think it is being the too vulnerable, man. Like I've always been the guy that wants to help people out and do things for people or whatever. And I realized that certain things weren't being done for me, so I stopped fucking trying to help people, and I stopped trying to do things for people. But then I realized that part of my life of me, you know, getting gratitude for helping people wasn't being fulfilled. So I had to reassess what I'm doing, and now I'm like, I almost feel like part of it is like I'm stuck in a position where I'm constantly trying to reassess if what I'm doing for somebody is right. What's up, buddy? Go ahead, put it in the car. I'm constantly trying to reassess like what's you know what I mean? And you know, so buddy, you're not even supposed to be down here hooking and jabbing because you are still recovering from your surgery.
That's what I've been like. Fuck you, Daddy.
What kind of surgery?
Yeah, buddy, but Daddy's not getting in there right now. Daddy's trying.
Oh man. And that's another thing too, man, because all of that really kind of goes back to, you know, what everything we're kind of going around right now, I think is one of the main things that people need to do if they really want to prevent things like school shootings, you know, between your friends and your families and yourselves, you know, fucking be more engaged within your family, be more engaged with your neighbors, be more engaged with your kids' school and your community, talk more, discuss fucking, you know, talk about real fucking things, get opinions out there, find out who the fuck you are, engage your fucking community to be a better person, and never look at government for fucking helping to solve shit. Look to yourselves, look to your families, look to your communities, you know what I mean? Solve your own shit. The government is not the arbiter of all things, man. The government is the worst at doing anything. You know, and I think that's what we're talking about, you know, really fucking trying to not be such an asshole while we're fucking driving, and to, you know, to really fucking, you know, reach out to people more, to be more engaged in our own families and all that shit, you know, because, you know, if you're a good dad, you're not even a bad, the better person you are, the more that you're going to fucking spread that shit to other people, to those in your inner circle, you know, to people forget opening a door for somebody, saying thank you, just being nice to somebody for no other reason other than just being fucking nice, and just doing those small little things can really make someone's fucking mood better in a day, which can make them treat their friends better in a whatever, man, just that little bit of shit. You know what I mean? And what people fucking forget is or not forget, but what sucks is people just get lazy, because every day you gotta fucking you gotta remind yourself, be nice, be good, you know, and you're eating shit because no one else gives a fuck about being right. So you're getting cut off in traffic, and people are just fucking shitting all over you, you know, and everything on TV is fucking pissing you off. So you're just surrounded by shit that makes you mad. So it gets harder and harder to be a fucking good person. It gets harder and harder to be happy, to be polite, to be courteous, and all that shit. You know what I mean? And it's hard to really fucking continue to be good. So, you know, and no one, if you truly don't give a fuck about being a better person, being a good person, you're not going to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's as cheesy as that sounds to a lot of motherfuckers. Oh, you're just going to go be fucking nice to, you know, because I don't try to be that fucking cool, pretend tough guy any fucking more. You know what I mean? Like as if being nice for no fucking reason isn't some kind of strong thing, because it is. That's one of the strongest things you can do. You know what I mean? Is always be nice to people.
You're being nice? You're a goober. You're being nice. Why are you being nice?
Well, it's when you go, oh yeah, like, you know, when the fucking fake tough guys want to be like, oh yeah, go fuck it, you know, all that shit. It's like, yeah, whatever, man. You know, I mean, I've been through fucking. I've unfortunately almost died enough times to where I appreciate every fucking second that I do have, you know, and I like to fucking spend it being happy. You know what I mean? Not being pissed off and angry and all that shit all the time, man. That shit's too hard for me. Being angry and pissed off and all that shit is, I don't like it. I'm fucking done with that shit. I did it for a long fucking time, being angry and pissed off.
Right.
Done.
Can y'all hear
Done.
this? Can y'all hear this?
Yeah.
All right.
No.
No?
That jingling?
Okay.
No.
Anyways, I was
Like
gonna
you?
I was gonna say too, to kind of key off what you were saying, man. I think a lot of people too, they think, I mean, they just, it's that whole about me, and mine, which I see where they're going with it for, because like probably bringing up that I experienced it more in my life where I was vulnerable and I always was giving and and always exerted myself and my energy to please others and to do all these things, and then I felt shitted on and I felt bad because like I wasn't getting a lot of things back from the people that I really admired and people that I really loved and shit like that, So I felt like I was going to do this, but then I guess I had to sit back and realize, you're not doing that in the expectation of getting anything back, which I wasn't. I wasn't expecting to get anything back, but it was hurtful to know that, damn, yeah, and definitely that I exerted myself and I wasn't even thinking about me. I was thinking about me and mine, and also taking on whatever you was giving me too, and also trying to be there to help talk to you or help you with whatever situation. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of the times, and it is based on, I guess, cultures and where a person was raised, but a lot of the times I feel like people are just worried about exactly what they have going on, and if somebody else is doing bad, yeah, they're going to be there to say, hey, I'll pray for you, you know what I mean? But in the same sense, are they really going to be there for that person, or are they going to just sit there and think about everything that they have going on? Because I feel like they look at it like, damn, they look at it like the world is tough enough, and me trying to make it and provide for my family is tough enough. I'm not trying to put on any other burdens of any other person or any other thing that they have going. Matter of fact, I don't even have time to talk to them, you know what I mean? And I feel like that just, it happens more than often, man. But when you really sit back and think, and what I had to do is like, yeah, you just are who you are. You have a big heart. You love to give better than receiving. Like me, I love to give, man. I just love it. But it don't always expect that people are going to take that and when you need them, that they're going to be there for you. But don't do it for that, which I'm not doing it for that. It just, when you kind of, when you sit back and you think about it, it's like, fuck, man. Yeah.
Nobody likes that feeling of bare ass in the cold.
Baileys.
You know what I mean? Nobody likes that feeling of.
Look at this. Look at this. I'm sorry, man. Look at this. What she's doing.
Exactly sure. And I'm not. What did she do? Holy shit! Did she just dig all that?
She just did this while I was on the phone just now, man. Bailey.
She's a fucking asshole.
Anyways, I'm sorry about that. Go ahead, man.
Nobody likes that feeling of being bare ass in the cold. Like nobody.
Right.
The way I've learned to avoid that is I only put myself in positions where I'll be able to help somebody if I'm not bare ass in the cold. Because I learned that in the Marine Corps. Like, you know what I mean? Like the position we put our brothers, like all of us together, like we would give our last dollar to each other. You know what I mean? And put ourselves bare ass in the cold because we know the person to the left of us is going to do the same thing at some point in time. But when you're uncertain of that, when you're uncertain of, will this person do the same for me, you become reluctant. And I didn't want to have that reluctance anymore. I literally at one point in my life, stopped doing things to help people until I realized, like, I actually can help people if it's in my means. And just because I'm not helping somebody at this very given, it's simply because I don't have the ability to. I don't have the funds to. I don't meet the prerequisites to. But when I do, I will strive to meet those prerequisites, and then I'll be able to help in the way that I can possible, without putting myself in a position where I'm bare ass in the cold. Nobody likes being bare ass in the cold. Like, fucking, I don't like cold air in my asshole. And I don't think anybody else does either. If you like that, then by all means, go ahead and do it. And you'll see how successful you are later on when it comes time for you to help the next guy. You can't because it's cold outside and it's home.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah, definitely, man. It definitely makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, but I definitely, I agree with all that because I don't help everybody, you know what I mean? Because you can't help everybody. If you helped everybody, at all fucking times, you would be just shirtless, bare ass and cold, as you say. you know,
Right.
and that should never stop you from helping others. You know, it never should. But you should always definitely have that what the fuck's the word? Doggone it. Anyway, you should always be able to just be reasonable with your charity and with your helping, your giving, man, because people will take advantage of you. And that's when you're talking. I think that's what you're talking about, being bare ass in the cold there, Ty, is when fucking people take advantage of you and then they take you for fucking granted and you get shit on, you know what I mean? Or getting walked on, you know, as people like to, you know, put it. But it's just an unfortunate part of being a truly and sincerely giving person. When you're truly kind-hearted and when you're truly generous, people are going to take advantage of that, either intentionally or unintentionally. Because even if you're fucking always the giving one, you're always going out of your way. You're always doing, you know, for something for, you know, for somebody else. When you stop doing that, that person may fucking kind of lash out at you because they're fucking upset that you stopped being so giving, you know, but they're not intentionally, you know, fucking being an asshole. It's just like they didn't realize how fucking giving and how fucking accommodating you really were, you know. And
Totally.
that can happen, man. And that's how you take shit for granted, because when people get spoiled, when people get pampered, which is very much a reason for the way our culture and society are. Our society is pampered. Our society and our culture is pampered. And we start having a fucking generation of people that think they can just act like children and, you know, yell and scream and say, I feel this, and get what they want, you know, and that leads to a lot of shit that you see today, you know. But it's just, it's when you're fucking, when you don't have to go through adversity, when you don't have to fucking work for everything, when you don't have to fucking really question yourselves and, you know, what you believe, that leads to being spoiled, and that's not good. Because you take shit for granted, and it doesn't feel good when you get taken for fucking granted, you know. And when you, unfortunately, when you've been that person, when you've been the giving one, when you're fucking been that person and you get shit on a lot, yeah, it doesn't feel good, you know. But and also, time, man, I've been the opposite. I've been that fucking guy that's taken advantage and taken for granted, you know, the women I've been in relationships with, you know what I mean? Like, I've been that guy plenty of times, you know?
Yeah, it's like that saying, you don't miss your water till your well run dry, man. I mean, that's very true, too. And definitely, and I feel like you're right when you said, too, a lot of people from personal experience, man, they definitely get let down. They feel let down when you don't help them one time and you've helped them millions of times before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why I can kind of play both sides of the field as well, too. Just in the sense of, I love, like, and I still do, I feel like one of my purposes from God of being here is, like I said many a times, is to you know, just to bring the connection, inspire others, and I really like to you know, to help other people out. I mean, I have a big heart, and that's just who I am. But at the same sense, like, you know, it's that whole thing that everything's a balance. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, obviously, help out and lend that helping hand, but at first, you know, you have to look inside your own life and stuff like that, and you know, and realize, you know, is this going to be a smart decision for me to make at the time? But I feel like a lot of times, me helping out people, I've always got good things back in return, even if it wasn't from them. Like I'm saying, life has brought me good things back in return. And I didn't, like, it wasn't, and it was more than anything I could have got back from them. You know what I mean? It was a whole life change, or a whole, like, something happened where God has guided me through. And even though, to my own understanding and my own knowledge of, damn, that person never really helped me back, life brought me in good places, you know what I mean, in a good direction. I think generally because I was doing it out of my heart and doing something good for others.
Yeah. No, it can get very hard, or it can get really, really hard to want to do good. You know what I mean? Like, there are those times when you don't want to be a good person, you know, when you just fucking feel angry and pissed off and you just want to be a certain way, man, you know. And that's what's hard for me, because every day, I mean, a lot of my initial instincts are always negative. You know, I'm very naturally or instinctively aggressive. I'm very instinctively, you know, resort like it, and anger and all that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Those come pretty quickly to me naturally. So I have to fight pretty hard daily when something I see, hear, whatever, you know, like will just naturally bring out a negative emotion, I have to be like, fuck, and consciously tell myself to fucking stop being, or wait till I'm done being mad at it. You know what I mean? Because I can't really tell myself how to feel, but you can consciously tell yourself that, hey, I don't give, you know, though I'm upset about whatever just happened, it's not worth being upset about. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Right.
Um, so it's been really fucking hard. That's daily, and that's why I'm good at it now, man. That's why I'm so very good at, and I'm so very patient. Because being the stay-at-home fucking mom dad is, if there's two things that they fucking teach you being a stay-at-home parent, it's humility and patience. You know what I mean? And but it's daily, dog. Like you have to do it every fucking day to get good at it, and it's hard. It's fucking. There are days when you just want to be like, I don't want to do what I know I should do. I want to be lazy and be selfish and ignore motherfuckers. But you know,
So would you? I mean, so would you say that you? I mean, do you? I mean, like I know you probably don't, but for a person, should they put them and theirs first? Should they put themselves and their family first above everybody? Do you agree with that?
yeah, of course. You should always put the interests of yourself and your family above all other things. But that doesn't mean you still can't fucking put others in high priority as well. You
Right.
know, I mean, coming down to a situation where you're going to have to fucking choose the welfare of your family over the welfare of others is probably not going to happen in most people's lives. You know what I mean? You're probably never going to face that situation. So, you know, always trying just to put others' interests in general, you know, being fucking just, you know, having other people in your priorities is always a good thing, no matter what, you know what I mean? And
Right.
when you do, others might fucking put you in their priorities, you know what I mean? Like you were talking about before, life comes back to you when you fucking go out of your way to treat other motherfuckers good and to fucking be a good person. Life will come back to you in other ways, man. That will fucking reciprocate. You know, just like as negativity attracts negativity, positivity attracts positivity, man. It will come back. That good and positive karma. You know what I mean? It'll come back to you.
I totally agree. I totally agree through my personal experiences, man. But you know,
I mean, isn't that a cautionary tale too? You know, you be nice to the stranger. You know, that's an old mythology, man. You know, I mean, always be kind to strangers and to guests because you never know if it's a
Get up out of
god.
here. I gotta
What's
get.
up?
My bad.
Okay,
Sorry to
bro.
jump in. I gotta get up out of here.
All right, bro.
All right.
all right, bro.